Welcome to Singapore. If you're new to my channel, I'm Stu. I'm a backpacker from England, and this is day number 90 of my adventure of traveling back to England without flying. So I arrived in Singapore late yesterday afternoon, and I am staying in this place. It's called the Beat Sport Hostel. It is the cheapest, or one of the cheapest, in the country, and it's £15 a night. Now where I am right now is Little India, and it's so called because during the 19th century the Indian immigrants moved to this area, and over time it became the heart of the Indian community. But now it's full of skyscrapers, and I mean skyscrapers everywhere. So my plan today is, because I am leaving tomorrow, it's a case of I have to go out and see everything I have to see in a short time. And the only reason I'm leaving so early, only after 2 nights, is Singapore is expensive, and when you're on a very tight budget for traveling for a long time, then you really have to be sensible. And even though this country is amazing, and I have been out and about to see stuff so far, I do need to go on to Malaysia, which will be my next country tomorrow. So instead of me usually just chatting all the way around, I am just going to go to the spots, show you the sights, and you're just going to be amazed at this place. Singapore is a city, it's a state, and it's a country. And there's 2 other places around the world that is exactly the same, and that is Monaco and the Vatican City. Singapore has got a population of 5.9 million people, and it covers an area of 728 kilometers square. So a lot of people for a small area. There is a diverse mix of cultures here, including Chinese, Malaysian, Indian, and there is a growing number of expats from Europe, especially England, coming over here to live. Now what amazes me most about this country is, if you've ever been in Southeast Asia, you will know the traffic is always crazy. Singapore, it's civilized and organized. Singapore has a strict system that's controlling all the traffic on the streets. So to limit congestion and reduce pollution, they issue certificates of entitlement, which you need to own and drive a car. The number of certificate of entitlements issued each year is actually capped. So there's only a certain amount they will release, and they are auctioned off. And sometimes these auctions for these COEs reach crazy prices. So to own a car, to drive a car over here, can be expensive. Which is why the public transport system over here is so really good. From the MRT, the metro, to the buses, there's buses everywhere. So I guess if you can't afford to get a car, then public transport is the way ahead. I am still on my way to my first spot, and I said I wouldn't do a lot of talking, but this is a fascinating country, and this is a Saturday morning going through a market surrounded by skyscrapers. and this is just normal life now. And the country is so modern, got so many modern buildings, but there is always some sort of construction work going on. So many more new buildings are getting built. Well, this looks like a local market. The country is one of the strictest in the world, and you can get fined for anything. Anything from littering, and I've just seen a sign down there. You can get fined for feeding pigeons, $10,000. But it's also known for all its buildings. I mean, look at that. And it is a very green country. They reckon half the country is green, with forests, parks. And chewing gum is banned in the country. Really good architecture everywhere. And it's got so many cafes, restaurants. It's a very foodie city. And as I said, because I'm only here for 2 days because it's so expensive, I went to a cafe this morning for breakfast just by the hostel, and it didn't look exciting, it looked reasonably normal, so I went in and had a breakfast burger with a cappuccino. $31. Oh my god. Now, education is big over here. And even though I'm looking at the University of Art over there, I'm also looking at the clouds. It looks like it's getting a bit dark. It's rainy season, so this is to be expected. Oh wow. So you have got modern buildings everywhere. And then it links into old. So you do get a lot of old architecture. Look at that. St. Joseph's Church. The church was originally built between 1906 and 1912 with money from a Portuguese mission, and by 1936 its congregation was getting just so big they had to demolish it and rebuild it, and this is the building that's here now. Over the years it's been added on, there's things around the back, but that's just beautiful when you consider it's in the middle of skyscrapers. Amazing. What I am liking about Singapore is everywhere you go, you'll get little signs telling you where you are, the history of the place. And that there is the cathedral. It's a mulberry bush. It manages to mix the modern with the old so well. I mean, this is the library. Wow. So I've come away from the city and heading for a bit of nature, and this is where I've come to, Fort Canning park. And somewhere up here is Fort Canning. Wow, it's like a jungle. And even though it's coming into nature, there's still an escalator to take you into it. Oh, see, it's walking up a steep hill. So much easier. Wow. So this is the park leading up to the fort, and you have little signs saying what a plant is, and then a little frame to show you the plant itself. That's ingenious. Guava plant, and there it is. And there's little frames all over the place. What a good idea. So the way to the fort is that way. Unfortunately, it's blocked off because of a private function, which is all the way up there, and there's some loud music going on, but I've just passed these two guys, and Scholars in Conversations to Stamford Raffles. Now Raffles, this guy here, is famous. He's the one that started Singapore. He's the one that established it as a country, city, state. So behind me is where the private function is. I've just found out it's Shell, the company Shell. They can afford it. So they've got the green area to use as a private function, and this is Fort Canning. This is the old governor's house, and I don't think you can get in, but it still looks impressive from the outside. And on the green itself, you've got various structures from days gone by. So from the old governor's house, across the way is, I always get excited by these things, no unauthorised photography or camera. Now that looks like a military place, I'm guessing. Now Singapore do have an army, a navy, air force, and they have a compulsory conscription for all Singapore people of 2 years. So these are stairs going up, and that's the place over there we're not meant to be photographing. See what's up here. So the back of Fort Canning, and it looks like it's been very modernised as best as it can. But then you've got a beautiful garden, green space, evidence of the 1800s. Check me out trying to sound knowledgeable. And these are the old married soldier quarters where the military would live. Built around 1926 to serve for lodgings as four married British Army officers. Shame I can't get in. Yeah, everything's closed. But this park is so big, and there's signs everywhere to tell you where you're going and where you're coming from. Wow. Well, I don't know what the fence is for. It's not military. It's a reservoir. It was built in 1920s. And it's been ever since. It's well protected. Oh, I'd love to go for a swim in there. As I mentioned earlier on, there is a lot of greenery within Singapore. And there's that sign that just says, "Let's make Singapore our garden." Do like that. So I'm still in Fort Canning. I'm trying to get out of it, but I keep seeing new stuff. And this is the original Fort Canning lighthouse. As it says there, 1903 to 1958, it was being used, and the river is just down there. So it would have been seen. Oh, there's lots of lighthouses around here. So you got the history of this place in Maritime Corner. Oh, can you climb up there? Possibly. But I'm about to leave the fort and head down to somewhere new. And the lighthouse would have been shining from up there to down here. And this is Singapore River, and this leads across this bridge all the way to the ocean. And I'm going to be going down towards that building because that is awesome. But you get a sense of how modern this place is. And then you've got that building over there, which I've just tried to get into. That is the old police station. It's one of the largest buildings at the time when it was built. And it was a police station, living quarters, it was a prison, it was just everything to do with law and order for Singapore. Now, as I said, I just tried to get in through the main doors over there. There's a security guard saying, nope, it's a governmental building now. And I think it is the Cultural and Heritage building. I might be guessing. It's pretty. So I've just missed the signs that says it is, and I don't know if you can read it from over here, the Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth, and also the Ministry of Digital Development and Information. They have all them offices. Right, time to carry on down here. So instead of just going straight into more buildings, I thought I'd come on to the Colonial side. So behind me you've got Elgin. Is one of the oldest bridges in the city, and it leads down to Boat Quay, where some of the oldest shops, restaurants are in town, and then it leads on to not so colonial. And all this lot here, including the bridge, is actually sponsored by American Express. Oh, that looks nice. Dining cruise, nobody's waving. And then to the left of me, I thought was another colonial building, but it's not. It's actually a governmental building. But we have a wander down here towards the sea. Moving further down the river, we've come to the statue of Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles. And according to this little sign here, this is where we first landed in Singapore, 20th of January 1819. So who was this guy? He is the father of modern Singapore. This was basically a fishing village when he turned up. He, within a couple of years, had built it into a city with houses, a free port, shops, gardens. He was a botanist. He loved his plants. So up there where we were for the big gardens, he built that. Because it was a free port, people came and did all their business here, not knowing what free port actually is. But Raffles was instrumental in turning this into a major economy. And even one of these buildings here, I think that one there with the little jagged edge at the top, is called One Raffles Place. And then you've got a Raffles Hotel, you've got Raffles this, Raffles that. It was important. But obviously at the time, it wasn't the big powerhouse that it is now. It wasn't as rich as it currently is. And that all changed in 1965 when Singapore gained its independence from the evil colonial forefathers, the British. And in that year, 1965, just turn the camera around so you can get a sense. 1965, that was the year they gained independence, and also they joined the United Nations, they joined the Commonwealth, they formed their own airline, they started doing educational reforms where they wanted their kids to be educated, not just the normal subjects, but in logic, in mental arithmetic. They wanted their children to be intelligent, educated. Look at that, the Fullerton Hotel. And it paid off. In the 70s, Singapore attracted big oil companies, Shell, to start laying foundations to drill for oil, which they found, which is probably helpful. Asians come Civilization Museum. Ooh, bikes everywhere. Wow, this is amazing. Oh, and two pigeons having sex. Could have waited. Beautiful. So this bridge is the Cabinet Bridge, and I'm just basically going to read off that. So this is the oldest bridge across the Singapore River to survive in its original form. And I'm still following the river all the way down to the ocean. Oh, this bridge was built in Glasgow, Scotland. Oh wow. When I usually go to a city, I've just got to really dig deep into the internet to find out about stuff. But here, there are signs everywhere. So this is part of the Police Heritage Trail. First police officers. Look at them. Oh, with their books and their pens. I thought you were swearing there. 3 fingers he's got up. But yeah, you don't have to go far. Look at that. Victoria Memorial Hall. Wow. Obviously named after Queen Victoria. Oh, there's a cenotaph there. And as I said, Raffles Lake has been not botany, so there is a tree trail going around the whole city. Wow. The place is beautiful. I've not even got down to where I want to go. Ooh, different language. So that's the top going all the way down, and it is a monument erected by the European, Chinese and native inhabitants of Singapore to commemorate the visit in the month of February 1850, the Marquis of Dalhousie, General Governor of British India. So there you go. Wow, that has been preserved so well. And that is closed. Drat. And it's got the right time, 3:15. 3:15. So I'm opposite Fullerton Hotel, next to the police guys. And I've just been thinking, there is still so much to see. I've decided I'm going to have to extend. I have to. If I want to see more of Singapore, you cannot do it in one day at all. I've been walking non-stop for about 4 hours. I mean, the footage I've taken so far, are they the same people? But the footage I've taken so far has been so good that I know I'm going to have to take it from about 2 hours down to about 30 minutes. I know it's going to affect my budget so badly that once I get to Malaysia, I will have to take a few days of doing nothing, finding a very, very cheap hostel. But it might be worth it. Maybe because I will want to go down to see that thing down there. I don't know if you can see it from here. I'm going from down there all the way along the coast, the sea banks, the waterfront. That's going to be another couple of hours. And I really want to come out and do a nighttime video as well, which might be wise doing it tomorrow night because my legs are in bits. And because I haven't got the money for transport, it's about a 40-minute walk back there and then a 40-minute back tonight to do the nighttime. So there's going to be more videos on Singapore. Woo woo! Aren't you excited to see more of the modern side, to see the sculptures, to see the statues, to see the history and the ocean? I'm only doing it because I'm tired. I am knackered. And it'll give me a chance to sit down tonight to work out a plan for tomorrow. I'll go out very early and do as much as I can and then go back. But yeah, we'll do one more day. Money. But while we talk about money, you do realise that I have a Buy Me a Coffee page, and that supplements my travels going around the world. And if you want to donate to Buy Me a Coffee donation page, there is a link to it in my description below. And as they say, every little helps. Another reason I want to stop filming and do another day is there is some live music going on behind me, and I really want to go and see this because the band sounds amazing. But if you've enjoyed this video from what you've seen so far, all you got to do is press that like button. You need to subscribe to find out when the next video is out, and I'm off to watch the band. So until next time, until tomorrow, bye bye for now.